Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Kat. First of all, I wish everybody Happy New Year. Hopefully everybody made your own New Year resolution and stick with it this year. In the new year, I hope to make more videos about the career development in healthcare and life science in general, as well as share more of some of the content related to my life as a working mom. If you're interested in such content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. In today's video, I want to share one of the topics that was requested quite often and are often asked by my colleagues, not only just in consulting, but also in academia who want to transition out in general, which is what is a product manager versus a program manager in biotech and pharma companies. They sound very similar, and to a degree, their job duties or responsibilities overlap quite a lot. So it might confuse people what are the differences and what kind of skill sets they need, and of course, the career trajectory and compensation. So in this video, I want to share some of my insights on this topic. Without further ado, let's get started. So per these two words, one is product, one is program, right? The key difference is as a product manager, you're typically working with a product itself. And that means it could be a medical device, it could be a tool that's from a life science tool company. Because compare that to, let's say a software company. You also have product manager at Meta or at Amazon, right? Because those managers, they work with a product. And that could be WhatsApp, right? That could be Facebook. So because you're working with one product, you are a product manager. And that applies to the device companies as well. So let's say you're working with a medical device or robotics for surgery or a flow cytometry machine, right? Then your kind of responsibility really focus on this specific product. And that can, start from the product design all the way to product marketing and sales. On the contrary, for the program manager, it's more focused on the program itself. How do you define a program? Program means you're working with a drug. It's in the pipeline. And you're managing the development of this program specifically. So for example, you have a drug A that in the pipeline A, B, C, right? Because one drug could target different disease, and that's different programs or different pipelines. In that case, you're not managing this drug specifically or this target specifically. You're managing the programs or the pipelines associated with this drug or this product. So in pharma companies, typically the position will be program manager. And similar to product manager, within each program or across different programs, you will be managing, across different developmental stages, depending on how senior you are as a program manager. So the key responsibilities or job duties are very similar because what you're responsible for are very similar, right? The difference is one is a product, one is a program or pipeline. So for example, you will always be talking to different stakeholders to understand this product or this program. So the skill sets you're leveraging are always the communication skills, the presentation skills, the data analytic skills. So all of these soft skills are applied across different positions. That's why many of my consulting peers, they kind of maybe jump into a pharma or device company to be a program or product manager. For the product manager, you are typically responsible for the design and development of the product. So let's say it is a flow cytometer, right? And then maybe it is really applied for the single cell application. Then you want to see how to best design this product to be user-friendly, let's say, or what features can be improved to meet the satisfaction of the end customer. In this case, what they're going to do is to talk to end customers or talk to the consultants who know these fields And you gotta do a lot of market research as well. You want to also understand what competitors are doing. So as you can see, these skills are very similar to what we do, what us consultants do on a daily basis. Let's say your end customer is academia, right? Or scientists in a pharma company. Then you want to talk to them to see what they would like to improve, what are the current unmet needs, so you can, to the best possible, incorporate into your new machine. And that's the product development piece, right? And then in the end, those will also be the marketing slogan and how you attract those end customers as well. So this is kind of the whole piece when you are a product manager. On the other hand, program manager, you don't really do a lot of the design and development piece. It's more about managing the success of the clinical trials and things associated with it. So let's say you already have the drug, right? That drug you don't have to modify. You don't have to do the R&D of this drug or pipeline. You are typically assigned certain type of pipelines and trials associated with it. And you will be in charge of kind of coordinating how to make this trial successful. And that can involve a lot of planning and coordination. You might have a clinical trial coordinator. You have to talk to a clinical trial coordinator, and you might also have to talk to preclinical people. You also have to talk to the marketing and sales people. So it's also a lot of communication and presentation skills involved. And you also have to, of course, reply to the key stakeholders in the company. It's less of an external facing, talking to the people. It's more about managing the specific pipeline and trials. For both jobs, there are, let's say product manager level 1, 2, 3, similarly program manager 1, 2, 3, right? And of course, different titles are applied in different companies. So for example, for program managers, if you are more senior, maybe you're managing more trials, more pipelines, or you are managing more late stage clinical trials because it's more complex. The stake is higher. You don't want it to, fail or have any mistakes. So if you are more senior program manager, you might be assigned to manage those trials versus if you just started your program manager role, you might manage a few, phase 1 trials because it's smaller and it's just easier for hands-on work. And this is similar for the product manager as well. There are multiple products in your company, and if you are more junior, you also work with more early stage products, or you can be part of the product development team as a more junior product manager. Regarding the working hours or compensation, I think they're very, very similar. It's not about the job specifically, it's about the company, right? If this company's culture is more intense, or it's more a well-established, well-developed company that have a certain rule on the working hours and compensation. The compensation also varies based on where the company is located. So typically, if you're in California, where the living expenses are higher, you have a higher compensation. If you're more senior, you have a higher compensation. But the 6-figure is quite normal for both East and West Coast. But let's say you're in Texas, you're in a small biotech. Then if you're a program manager for, small startups, then you probably will not achieve that 6-figure for your first year. On the day-to-day work, it's very similar. It's a lot of planning. You will see a lot of meetings on your calendar, both external and internal facing. But again, the skill set is very similar. Regardless, you're talking to the end users or talking to the internal key stakeholders. Even though the questions might be different, the presentation style might be different, but they both require you to be articulating what you're trying to say, being straightforward, make the message clear, being concise. All these key points on how to present yourself is very important. I think the key decision when you think about which job you want to apply is, first, is your interest, right? Are you more interested in working in a pharma company that work with clinical trials, patients, drugs, or you're more interested in working with a product, right? Because that involves more technology and optimization of different features. So that's, I think, the first key difference. Second is the compensation would be, I'm saying on average, okay, a bit lower in the device company versus a pharma company. And third, for a product manager, you can choose, of course, to work always with product itself, and it changes all the time. And you might be always working with certain products. And for program manager, you can also kind of always be a program manager and just go from, an easier trial to a more difficult trial, more late-stage trial. Another option is you can go more to the operational level or commercial side of the business, because the pharma is a lot larger, so it takes longer time to get there. Versus in smaller device companies, it might take fewer years going from product manager to become a more management level position. But overall, these two positions are both really great positions if you want to leave consulting, leave academia, or trying to find a position to starting to learn the clinical trial process or product development process. I think in the end, it really depends on your interest, your location, and your past experience. I hope this video is helpful and address some of the kind of confusion between these two jobs. And if you have more questions, don't forget to comment below and I will reply as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like such content, thumb up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.